in Houston, but also will be covering the ongoing challenges that we are dealing with in other parts of the state. Let me start with the weather. You all probably know and have seen a lot of briefing about the weather. One thing that we are dealing with, there's basically a triangle of ongoing rain that stretches, one tip of which would be the Corpus Christi area up to Travis County, over to Chambers County, and then back to Corpus Christi. Parts of those regions will continue to receive incredibly heavy rain that will lead to even more flooding and more danger for Texans. Houston and so many other areas in that region will sustain heavy rainfall. I realize there's a lot of focus on Houston right now. It's important not to forget the challenges that people in the counties outside and around Houston are suffering because of the immense rainfall. That includes, in particular, Liberty County and Brazoria County. Texans need to be prepared for more rainfall tonight, on occasion, very heavy rainfall. We want to emphasize the importance when there is heavy rainfall, when there is flooding, the importance of staying off the road. If you drive into water, you're taking your life into your own hands. Always try to seek the high ground, whether you're on ground or in a building. Get as high as you can. And try to avoid going outside if you don't need to, if you're dealing in a location that has rising water and heavy rain. This likely is going to be an historic rainfall, an all-time record in the amount of rain that is sustained in certain regions. I also want to emphasize to our fellow Texans that there will be locations today, tonight, and tomorrow that will continue to have tornado action. So Texans need to constantly be watchful and hopefully have the ability to stay tuned to information about tornado warnings and watches. I'd like to break down what agencies in the state of Texas are doing. First, with the National Guard and the State Guard combined. We have now activated 3,000 National Guard and State Guard service members, serving all the way from Houston to Victoria, over to Corpus Christi and parts in between. They've activated 500 vehicles, 6 shelters, and 14 aircraft. The Texas Department of Transportation has deployed 400 people. They're involved in recovery missions in Corpus Christi and Victoria primarily right now. They, in those areas, are involved in removing debris as well as repairing signs. So one positive about where we are right now is that TxDOT and other agencies and the city and local folks in the Corpus Christi region are in the early stages of the rebuilding process. The Texas Department of Transportation is also working to restore the ferry service to Port Aransas. There are right now more than 250 highway closures in the state of Texas in that triangle region that I mentioned earlier. We have electronic message boards that are providing real-time information. If you are seeking information about road closures, you can go to drivetexas.org. That is drivetexas.org to find out if there are road closures. The report from the Public Utilities Commission is that there are 316,000 outages, which is less than I reported yesterday, but that does not include any update from Houston today. They are working as fast as possible to continue to reduce those outages with the decrease of wind and decrease of weather in regions like Corpus Christi, Rockport, Victoria, etc. That will enable them to move even more swiftly to reduce those outages. The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, TCEQ, is working in particular most acutely on the Corpus Christi water samples to help them get off of boiling water, which they hope will be coming fairly soon. And they are also working swiftly with other communities to help other communities get back to a reliable water source as quickly as possible. We have in the state of Texas, Texas Task Force 1 and 2. These are emergency responders that are affiliated with the Texas Division of Emergency Management. And there are 400 of their members who are engaged. And they provide primarily search and rescue missions as well as other activities. But they're working in multiple places, including in Houston, in Victoria, still in the Corpus Christi, Ingleside, Aransas Pass, and Rockport areas on search and rescue missions. Along those lines, as far as search and rescue missions are concerned, but also as well as other assistance is concerned, assistance is pouring in from across the country. Both helicopters as well as other resources have been provided by at least the following states, and hopefully I'm leaving none out: Nebraska, Tennessee, Utah, California, Missouri, Ohio, Arizona, and New York. And that, of course, is in addition to resources that are being provided by the federal government. But I want to extend my deep gratitude to our fellow Americans who are pouring in support from other states and providing resources that are needed to help us deal with these challenges. From Texas Parks and Wildlife, there are about 100 game wardens who are working on water rescue as well as other missions, and they are receiving assistance also from Louisiana and Florida. They are using over 60 vessels, and as one example, they performed about 19 water rescue missions around the Bastrop area yesterday. They are continuing patrols in the Rockport area, in the Houston area, and in airboats around the Galveston area. The Texas Department of Public Safety, they now have assigned 1,750 DPS officers to work in this triangle area that I mentioned before, in between Corpus Christi, Travis County, over to Chambers County. They have close to 500 DPS officers currently assigned in the Houston area to help deal with that situation. The report from the Red Cross is they are serving about 130,000 meals a day. And they have heavy activity in the Corpus, Victoria, and Houston areas. There are a lot of people across the state of Texas, frankly, across the country, even outside the country, who are wanting to help. And the best way that you can provide the help that can best assist Texans in need is by providing that help through the Red Cross. And there's two ways you can contact them. One is redcross.org. That is redcross.org, or call 1-800 Red Cross and indicate that you're trying to provide assistance and help for the people in the state of Texas, and the Red Cross will be the best way to do that. From our health team, among the long list of things they are doing, they are sending about 92 ambulances to the Houston, Texas area to help them deal with their challenges, as well as sending a mobile medical unit to Houston, Texas, which, when fully implemented, is basically a standalone hospital facility. On transportation, we are still moving hundreds of evacuees to safe locations. That includes adding evacuation routes from Brazoria County, 25 buses. There are 60 buses at Tully Stadium in the Houston area that are staged for evacuation purposes, and they will take assignments from the local authorities for the appropriate location to go to evacuate people who need to be evacuated. From our communications department, a DPS communications trailer has been set up in Rockport for all first responders. As you may know, the ability to communicate electronically is very difficult in that region. It's essential in order to restore the type of order that we need, that we have the ability for all first responders to communicate, and that trailer now does exist for that purpose. That covers the entire Rockport area, as well as all of Aransas County, as well as Ingleside. They are also setting up a communications operation in Brazoria County, as well as in Harris County, and working the best they can to restore cellular communications. To give you a breakdown example of some activity in the coastal region, troopers are operating in Nueces County, in Aransas County, in San Patricio County, and in Refugio, and have assigned in those regions about 250 DPS officers. They are involved in security operations, as well as any type of rescue operations that are needed. They've been in contact with local leaders such as Mayor McCombs in Corpus Christi, as well as Nueces County Judge, and they're working to help out with Port Aransas. They've set up their regional distribution centers that are set up for food delivery purposes. Food delivery locations will be set up by tomorrow in Rockport, Port Aransas, Aransas Pass, Ingleside, and Portland. And there will be other areas also. But I know people in those regions in particular were looking for that type of help, and that type of help is coming. As the officer who reported to us today from the region said, he was talking to someone who approached him, and the citizen said that they now know that the cavalry is coming. Well, in addition to our efforts, we are proud to be joined today by Vice Admiral Carl Schultz. He is with the United States Coast Guard, and I would like him to share a few words, and then I will retake the mic, say a few more, and then take some questions. Admiral?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Governor, and good afternoon. Again, Vice Admiral Carl Schultz from Coast Guard Atlantic area, and we are here as part of the Department of Homeland Security team to support the state of Texas and support the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the department's lead federal agency for this crisis response. The Coast Guard has been very actively and closely engaged with Hurricane Harvey and now Tropical Storm Harvey here for the good part of the week. We have first removed our assets from the immediate area so they could survive any initial damages, and we've been pre-positioning response capabilities throughout the South Texas region and into the state of Louisiana. We've got resources from the entire Coast Guard, from California, Maine, down the eastern seaboard through the Gulf states that are here to support the state and FEMA. We've got 8 helicopters that are out flying this morning with another 8 flying into the area that are rescuing citizens from the immediate region here. We've been down and still remain down in Corpus Christi. We're pushing more boats on the water from all parts of the country. My Customs and Border Protection, Air Marine partners have resources here, and again, we are in the fight to support the state of Texas here with the full efforts of the entire Coast Guard. A couple just messages as the maritime guy up here. This is a very, very dangerous storm with catastrophic consequence, and folks need to not underestimate that. It is going to be a sustained challenge for the coming days. Many times folks wrongly presume the wind event is going to be the most challenging event. I've seen over the course of my career, it was actually the water event, and we are in for a real significant water event in the coming days. So heed the word of your emergency managers. To the citizens that are out there that are self-rescuing and helping other folks with their boats, we're going to need that capability. The response lines, the EOC numbers, the Coast Guard numbers are overwhelmed right now. We are trying to attenuate the asks. Our men and women are flying their helicopters around very serious rain bands in and around them. The boats on the water are dealing with challenges. So understand patience is important here, but your United States Coast Guard, as part of the DHS federal team, is all in on this, and I'll stand by, Governor, for any questions at the end. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Admiral. Once again, we are in the situation where we have priorities. Our top priority is to protect human life. And from the state of Texas side, we are working with local officials to do everything we can to protect our fellow Texans. Secondly, we're involved in the rebuilding process, and that process has already begun. And as these storms begin to depart the state of Texas, we will be very aggressive in the rebuilding process. One of the most important aspects of my conversation with the FEMA administrator earlier today was to help people understand that the rebuilding process is going to be a long process, but it's something that we will be able to get done. We're going to be able to get it done because we have a very effective federal partner working with the state of Texas, which will serve as a very strong partner for our local communities. With that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
So here, if you could speak specifically to Houston, you've got a convention center opening downtown, you've got people being rescued off of rooftops. There was some conflicting reports in the beginning about evacuation. Is this going to be Hurricane Katrina Part 2 instead of New Orleans and Houston?
Well, as far as the evacuation, now's not the time to second guess the decisions that were made. What's important is that everybody work together to ensure that we are going to first save lives and then second help people across the state rebuild. And because of the effort that we've been able to put together, I think and believe we will be very successful at both.
We're getting word that they're running out of boats and high water vehicles in Houston and in Harris County, and they need assistance, but the state's been having trouble getting those resources there. Can you comment on that?
Sure. Every, whether it be a vehicle, a boat, or air, we've provided to Houston every asset they asked for. In fact, we have already had in the air something like 20 helicopters involved in rescue missions. We have boats. It's, I think, about 60 boats over there and countless high water vehicles. And so everything they've asked for has been provided, and we stand ready to provide even more. And on top of that, we have both DPS as well as National Guard in full operation mode.
So there's no trouble getting more resources in there right now?
Not at all.
Do you have any update on confirmed fatalities?
I do not. There obviously have been reported fatalities, but I'm not in a position to confirm that they are related to the storms. We don't have that information. We don't have that information.
And do you have a total on the number of rescues, particularly the helicopters?
Do we, on our for our numbers?
The challenge is they're happening so fast right now in and around those rain bands that it's hard to keep track of the number that we're actually doing. If I asked them to report to me how many they were doing, that would take them away from actually doing the rescues. So I'm more interested in getting them out there. We'll collect that data at the end of the evening.
Governor, could you kind of put this on a scale of how this disaster compares to previous ones, both nationally and in Texas? Is it?
All right, having just a couple of issues there with our connection, but the big takeaway right now from that briefing with Governor Greg Abbott, there are so many moving parts happening across the state. A huge coordination effort underway because you essentially have towns on the coastal bend that are trying to recover, and then folks from Houston all the way here in rescue mode. We've got the connection back. We're going to continue listening in.
So the rain component and the flooding, and so this would be a very large disaster. One thing that I'm very proud of is the fact that the federal government has so quickly responded to provide all of the aid the state of Texas has needed. That helps us respond much more robustly. And going back to whoever asked the question, that the federal government it has conveyed to the city of Houston that the city of Houston asked for assets that the federal government is providing them also.
Governor, have you spoken directly with the mayor of Houston, and what has he asked you for, or what has he communicated to you?
I have called the mayor several times. I have his cell number, and I left messages for him repeatedly to let him know that whatever he needs, the state of Texas will provide.
What's your message specifically to the people of Houston?
We want you to be safe. We want you to know that we are working with Harris County and with the city of Houston to ensure that we're going to provide you with the resources you need to first save your life, and then second, rebuild your lives.
Governor, you talked repeatedly about the cooperation with the federal government, but a couple days ago in this very room, you talked about how people in Houston should consider evacuating. Then there was the message from local officials in Houston saying, no, that's not necessary. Has there been a breakdown in communication between the state and local officials about how people should have responded to this incident, which frankly we all saw coming 48 hours ago?
Right. I have spoken with the county judge on a daily basis, and first to offer any help the state of Texas can provide. But we've moved beyond whether or not there should have been an evacuation or not. And we are at the stage where we just need to respond to the emergencies and necessities the people of Houston have. But again, it's not just people around Houston. It's in this large triangle region.
Got time for one more, guys.
How many choppers did we say we had in the air? We had 8